people sing at the beginning of performances like this. I don't get it. Pedro did it last time. It worked, but it isn't working for me. So I'm just gonna move on. Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is João. Thank you. Today I'm going to talk a bit about myself, and it feels refreshing when you're at the beginning of doing stand-up comedy, because you have the whole history of your life to talk about. You can pinpoint every little single humiliation you suffered in your entire life and turn it into a comedy segment. So when you're doing stand-up, shoot. I'm sorry. Wait a minute. I'm sorry, I can't talk about this. I'm gonna have to move to the next subject. So, okay. Okay, I'm taking a big risk here, but I'm gonna tell you what's going on. So, I met this friend of mine the other day, and he asked me to see the video of my last stand-up performance last month. So, and I said, okay, I can show you the video. So he was watching the video in front of me. And for those of you who were here last time, it was right at the beginning, at that part when I say that you guys always laugh at the wrong times. Yeah, and you keep doing it again. Yeah, good. Wait for it. And I was looking at the guy, and the guy's not laughing. The guy's becoming increasingly shocked instead. And I say, what's the matter? Anything wrong? And he looks at me, and he says, what the hell are you doing? I say, what? What am I doing? He said, you don't realize what you're doing? Talking about the audience of a stand-up comedy like that? I said, no, what's wrong? You're doing stand-up comedy about stand-up comedy. And I said, yeah, I guess I do, so what? He says, you can't talk stand-up comedy about stand-up comedy. Everybody knows that. It's too complicated. People will start thinking stand-up about stand-up. Doing comedy about doing comedy about doing comedy. It makes people go nuts. And I said, okay, yeah, but what's wrong? And so the guy says, you see that movie Inception? Inception, yeah, that's the one with the dream inside the dream. Yeah, right, the dream inside the dream inside the dream inside the dream. I tell you, people left that movie theater, it was with serious headaches. Their minds were about to burst. And I said, okay, but come on, you must be joking. I think the audience can take a little stand-up about stand-up. It's okay, so what's the big deal about it? In fact, I think what you're saying is so funny that I'm going to use it on my next performance. When he looks at me with his eyes going out of his eyeballs, and he said, are you out of your mind? Are you not listening to me? That's even worse. That's doing stand-up about whether or not you should do stand-up about stand-up. And I said, yeah, so what's wrong about that? It says, minds are going to explode, I tell you. Minds are going to explode. And then he bursts out of the room, and he jumps out the window and breaks the glass and everything. And then he keeps running, and he keeps keeping screaming, minds are going to explode, minds are going to explode. And then he gets hit by a truck and dies. Okay, maybe I invented this part. Yeah, okay, my friend's pretty much alive, but I still think he's joking. I was a bit afraid of talking about this before, but in the end I'm glad I did it, because I talked about this and nothing happened, right? Everyone's okay there? Yeah. Yeah. No mind is bursting anywhere? No? So, yeah, everything's fine. It's cool. Okay, so since I'm on the topic and I'm gonna talk on the subject a bit more, I'm gonna talk a bit more about this. Are you sure everyone's okay?
Yeah.
No headaches, anyone? I've got aspirins if you want. This pocket, yeah? I can prepare it if you want some, no? Okay. So, what I'd like to talk about is, I want to talk about what the performers do on stand-up shows like this. Because I'm fairly new, but I already noticed some trends around here, some recurring themes. I already talked about singing on the beginning of performance, that's one example. But another example is that people love to talk about the public transportation system around here. I'm looking at you, Carter. Everybody's talking about the U-Bahn and the S-Bahn and the ticket system, and I have nothing against that. It's totally fine for me. It's just because we get on the U-Bahn and S-Bahn every day, we meet a lot of different people in there. There's lots of opportunity to make jokes about here. Now, if you're going by car to your work every day, you can't do stand-up comedy. I'm sorry, you can't. What are you going to say? Oh, I was driving the other day and I stopped at the traffic lights and I saw a guy picking his nose. Come on, everybody knows that joke by now. Oh, but it was myself, I was looking at the mirror. Even still. It's not funny. It's not funny. You were right not to laugh about this. You're so right. But I'm laughing. And another recurring theme is foreign people talking about the German language. And this time I should be looking at Fabio. And again, nothing's wrong with it. Totally okay with it. It's because it's just part of our lives as foreigners. We're living in a different country. We're learning a new language. We're comparing that language with your own language. There's always something to make fun about. In fact, I'm a foreigner myself, so I have my own take on the German language. And my take on the German language is that if Jedi Master Yoda from Star Wars was from our planet, I have no shadow of the doubt that he would be German. Yoda would be German, and I'm going to tell you why. Because the German language, the ordering of the words in the sentence is all scrambled up. It's like you pick an English sentence and you scramble everything up. This word goes here, and this one goes here, and this word goes right to the end, and you got a German sentence. And I'd like to illustrate this with a few phrases that I made so that you can see what I mean. So I'm gonna pick this up again. Okay, so I'm going to say this sentence first in English, and then there's a bit of a trick here. I'm going to say the sentence again in English, but with the German ordering of the words. So the first phrase is a simple one. The force is strong with this one. In German, the force is with this one strong. Okay, second sentence. When I left you, I was the learner, now I am the master. A German person would say, when you left, was I the learner, now am I the master. Third sentence. Yes, a Jedi's strength flows from the Force, but beware of the dark side. In the German ordering, it should be, yes, flows a Jedi strength from the Force, but of the dark side beware. And I have one last sentence for you. Your mind must be clear, if you want to discover the real villains behind this plot. A German Yoda would say, your mind must clear be if you, the real villains behind this plot, to discover want. So basically, when Yoda says, the dark side adds sense in you, you can pretty much see where this is coming from. So that's it for me. And I'd like to thank you now because you've been a great audience. Or as Yoda would say, now would I like to you thank because you, a great audience, been have. Thank you very much.